In this video, we're looking at an in-depth investigation published on Medium titled UKWritings Review 2025, an honest look at risks and realities. The article comes from a postgraduate student who examined the promises and performance of UKWritings.com, one of the best-known names in the academic writing service market. According to the author, UKWritings presents itself as a professional, UK-based company employing native English writers and delivering everything from GCSE essays to PhD dissertations. Their site advertises fast turnaround options, a 15% first-order discount, and a loyalty program that offers further savings for repeat customers. At first glance, it looks like a trustworthy platform, but the Medium article paints a much more complex picture. After studying public reviews, discussion forums, and comparison websites, the author concludes that UKWritings has serious consistency problems and policies that often disadvantage students when things go wrong. The investigation begins by outlining why students are attracted to the service. It offers a broad range of subjects, flexible deadlines that can go as low as 3 hours, and plenty of promotional offers. Positive testimonials on the company's own website praise the quality of writing and punctual delivery. One student quoted in those testimonials said the service captured my thoughts and delivered before the deadline. However, the author quickly notes that the tone shifts once you leave the official site. Across external review sources, Trustpilot, Reddit, and specialist watchdog sites, the same complaints appear again and again. The biggest concern is inconsistent quality and possible use of AI-generated content. In multiple cases, students reported essays filled with grammar errors, unnatural phrasing, or sections that clearly didn't match their brief. On Reddit, one user warned that their submission contained plagiarized text despite assurances of originality checks. Even more troubling were several independent reviews claiming that some papers were largely AI-written. The article cites one detailed example: a Trustpilot reviewer who said that 87% of their coursework was detected as AI-generated and graded at just 36%, resulting in what they described as serious academic trouble. Scamfighter, an independent review outlet, came to a similar conclusion, noting lots of AI-generated content, barely edited to make it less obvious. For a service that markets itself on professional human expertise, these findings raise major red flags. The next issue discussed is reliability. Although UKWritings promotes fast turnaround times, many students in the investigation reported late deliveries, sometimes missing deadlines entirely. One customer told Trustpilot that their paper arrived a day late and ignored most of their instructions. Another example involved a student who paid more than £560 for a dissertation package with a premium writer and editor. According to the report, the company switched writers 10 times and eventually submitted the work too late to be accepted. The Medium author highlights this pattern as evidence that the service struggles to maintain quality control when handling complex projects. Refund and revision policies came under particular scrutiny. On paper, UKWritings offers a money-back guarantee, but the terms are written in a way that heavily favors the company. The article quotes sections of the official policy showing that, for papers with deadlines longer than 14 days, a late order only qualifies for 7% compensation. A low grade isn't enough to trigger a refund. It instead prompts an internal investigation by their quality assurance team, with no guarantee of reimbursement. If a student requests revisions, they forfeit the right to claim a full refund later because the company treats that revision request as partial acceptance of the work. Several real-world examples back this up. One reviewer described paying for a full assignment, but receiving only half the questions answered. When they complained, they were offered a 10% discount voucher rather than a refund. Another reviewer who received a 2-2 grade said customer service refused any compensation and simply called it the worst service. Please don't use this. The article summarizes this section bluntly. The refund rules are vague and the process favors the company, not the customer. Transparency of writers was another recurring topic. UKWritings markets itself as employing native English experts, but the Medium author found evidence contradicting that. Reviews on Scamfighter noted that even the customer support staff appeared non-native, raising doubts about the background of the writers themselves. The same outlet alleged that the company relies heavily on low-paid freelancers from outside the UK, reportedly from Kenya and Eastern Europe, which would explain the language inconsistencies seen in some papers. The article also points to the website itself as a clue. Certain pages contain grammatical mistakes and clumsy phrasing. For example, one headline reads, "Guaranteed features," missing the second A. Another page promoting their plagiarism checking tool contains sentences such as, the advanced plagiarism detector tool accessing the massive database of content, web pages, students' papers, published works, which reads like a literal translation rather than fluent English. According to the author, such details undermine the company's claim of being run by expert native writers. Customer service quality was the next area examined. The investigator found that some students received quick replies before payment but struggled to get meaningful help afterward. Reports describe unanswered messages, long delays, and generic copy-pasted responses insisting that the writer met the requirements. One reviewer said they never received the promised revision, while another described support as polite but slow and unhelpful. Together, these accounts suggest a pattern of pre-sale attentiveness followed by post-sale indifference. From all of these threads, the Medium article draws three overarching themes: consistency, accountability, and trust. Consistency, because the quality varies widely from one order to the next. Accountability, because the refund structure leaves customers with little leverage when problems arise. And trust, because there's ongoing uncertainty about who the writers are and how transparent the business really is. Still, the author acknowledges that not every experience is negative. Some students do receive acceptable work on time, and the site's interface is easy to use. The discount codes and loyalty points appear legitimate, but overall reliability is unpredictable, making the service feel like a gamble. The author's balanced assessment is that UKWritings may be fine for lower-level essays or short assignments, but it's risky for major coursework, dissertations, or capstone projects where grades matter most. The stakes are simply too high given the number of reports of plagiarism, missed deadlines, and refund disputes. In closing, the article concludes that UKWritings is not necessarily fraudulent, but it operates as a high-risk option that depends too heavily on aggressive marketing and vague policies rather than verified expertise. For students considering it, the investigator recommends leaving a buffer before any deadline, checking all work for plagiarism or AI content, and being prepared to make substantial edits themselves. The final line of the Medium piece sums up the tone perfectly. If you're banking on it for a crucial piece of work, the risks are hard to ignore. So, in summary, the Medium investigation exposes a significant gap between the polished image of UKWritings.com and the real experiences described by its customers. While the site continues to attract users with fast promises and student-friendly discounts, the reality, according to the author's findings, is inconsistent quality, questionable transparency, and refund policies that rarely work in the student's favor. For viewers who want reliable academic support, the message here is clear. Read independent reviews carefully, look for services that display verified writer profiles, and don't rely solely on marketing claims. This has been the Review Network, reporting on the findings of the Medium investigation into UKWritings.com. We're not here to promote or condemn, just to summarize what the independent reviewer uncovered so students can make informed decisions. If you've used UKWritings yourself, share your experience in the comments below. Transparency helps everyone. And for more independent reviews and breakdowns like this one, subscribe to the Review Network, where we report what others discover and separate the facts from the sales pitch.